What's up, nerdy? Impoverished white male here. I need a haircut. Does anyone care? Is anyone gonna pay for me to get a haircut? No. I gotta pay for my haircuts on my own with my money. And who wants to do that? Not me. I don't want to pay for my haircuts. My haircuts should be free. And you want to know why my haircuts should be free? Because, quite honestly, I'm so ugly that I don't even think it matters what my hair looks like. I don't know if there is a haircut I can get other than a buzz cut that won't look hideous. Or women will still be indifferent to me regardless of whether or not I fix my hair. You know what I mean? The beard, the beard is just to cover up my abysmal facial structure, my abysmal jawline. Okay? The beard works as a jawline, remedy, a solution to my jawline problem. You know, people say it makes me look dirty, but people think that I look dirty even when I'm clean. So, people think I look unwashed, even if I have just gotten out of the shower. So, the beard works as a way to hide my shame when it comes to the jawline problem, okay? Beard fixes the jawline issue. Now the issues are the rest of me. And the haircut is one of those the rest of me issues. The haircut falls under the rest of me issue category. And I don't know what the remedy is for that. If there is one, what if there's not a remedy for that problem? Well, then we're just out of luck, aren't we? We're just all out of luck then. We're all out of luck with nowhere to go. Many such cases, you know. Many such cases, but no one has a solution for my case. There are many such cases, but does anyone have a solution for my case? No. I'm supposed to just be poor and be okay with it, apparently. And you know, how are you supposed to be okay with being poor? It would be one thing if you were asking me to be okay with being poor, you know, and I had people to split bills with. But I don't even have people to split bills with. You know, being poor when you have people to split bills with is one thing, but it's like the world just wants me to not make enough money and to not have any money in the bank and to be okay with it. And it's like, should have let me know that I needed so many lines of credit first. Should have let me know that I had to create a bunch of debt first. But no. But no. You know, I mean, I was literally in the situation that IBL, aka Nicholas from IP2, you know, I was basically in the situation that he voluntarily put himself in because he knows he has an audience that will give him money anytime he asks for it, which is weird, and pathetic. But I was in the situation that IBL, Nicholas, what have you. I was in the situation that IBL was in, basically, except I was renting a room. And now it would probably be harder than ever for me to find a renting a room situation. Because where do you even go if you wanted to post that you have a room to rent anymore? Were you supposed to go to Airbnb? Those aren't exactly cheap. So it's like, where do you even go if you want to rent a room in 2025, almost 2026? We're only getting closer to 2026. I think August is next month. September, October, November, December. So yeah, I mean, we're only getting closer to 2026. The years are only going by faster. Time ain't slowing down, is what I'm getting at here. Time is not slowing down. I might be slowing down due to aging. I certainly might be slowing down due to aging. Time, however, is not slowing down. And, that information makes me depressed. The fact that time is not slowing down, that information makes me depressed. I don't even pay attention to the news anymore. Well, I have been paying attention to the news. I could actually talk about the news, but I can only talk about like mainstream news headlines, because I just can't. After becoming a niche internet micro celebrity, I'm gonna start calling myself that, even though I don't even have 300 subscribers on this channel, and I don't get any concurrent viewers. I'm gonna start calling myself a niche internet celebrity, even though I'm a niche internet celebrity with a terrible haircut. What's it called? Even though I'm a niche internet celebrity with a terrible haircut, I cannot be bothered to actually listen to other people that I don't know and can't trust tell me about current events. I just can't listen to it anymore. I can't listen to people that I don't know well or trust tell me about current events anymore. I can't listen to a community that I've never physically met anyone from the community tell me anything about anything anymore. I'm just not meant for a social media world. Even though I was born into a social media world, even though I was the first generation to experience a social media world, I guess the generation that came before me, my brother's generation, had even earlier versions of social media, but I was the first generation to experience social media as we know it, as in MySpace and Facebook. The beginning of the end, so to speak. I was the first generation to experience the beginning of the end of the internet, and I can for certain say that I am not meant for a social media world, and I was made to not be meant for a social media world. And you know, it's technology is a part of everything now, and that makes it hard to not live the way that I was raised to live. I was basically raised to be a Luddite in a manner of speaking. And, I was doing my best to live the life of a Luddite that is forced to make do by existing on social media. I got out of the normie social media spheres because I don't fit in with the normies. I don't want to market myself. I don't want to sell myself. I don't want to put exorbitant amount of hours into optimizing my social media profiles to try to reach the widest audience possible by pulling the strings of the website application or the phone application, the device application, whatever you want to call it. I don't want to puppeteer the strings of of my channel in conjunction with the algorithm of said application to fit in, and I don't want to have to fine tune my appearance, my demeanor, my speaking. I don't want to have to do all that just to be able to come on a screen, and I'm tired of people acting like I'm not good enough because they don't like the words that I'm saying, or they don't like the resolution of the live stream, or they don't like the sound of my voice, or they don't like the cadence of my speaking, or I'm not doing anything interesting enough to warrant them to warrant having concurrent viewers, or I don't let them be mean enough to me, or I'm too old, or fucking I'm not live streaming in the right orientation, or fucking there's just so much bullshit, just a mountain of bullshit. Oh, I need a better phone connection. Oh, I need a phone cooler, and I need a selfie stick, and I need a yeah, whatever, dude. I thought the whole point of this shit was that this was supposed to be more akin to candid, just being candid and being yourself. I thought the whole point of shit like this is that you're supposed to be candid and be yourself and this, that, and the other. Clearly not, however. That is in fact clearly not the case. But it's par for the course for people to be dishonest. When is the world not dishonest, I mean, see, the thing is I can't even try to be humorous in the way that I would try to be humorous. Because it's rhetorical at this point. I'm speaking rhetorically, so I could be silly, I could be this, that, and the other, but I don't know. This is rhetorical. I'd rather be genuine. I'd rather be genuine. If no one's gonna pay attention to this, I'd rather be myself instead of trying to leave behind jokes that probably won't make sense to people as time goes on, and this, that, and the other. See, that's the thing is, if all of your humor is topical, you have to keep in mind, and I'm not very successful. That doesn't mean you can't learn something from someone that's not successful in the field they're talking about. You could learn something from I mean, shit, are golfing pros actively professional golfers? More often than not, no. You know, golfing pros is in someone who would help you correct your golf swing. They're not necessarily they're not necessarily going to be someone that's competed at the Masters or this, that, and the other. You know, they could just be someone who's good at golfing and they're very knowledgeable about golfing and this, that, and the other. So it doesn't mean that you can't learn something from me just because I'm quote unquote not a successful live streamer. Um, but the thing that in my opinion, you have to keep in mind that it could be seen in the future. So if you're someone where everything you talk about is extremely topical and the references are tied to the era and the references may not make sense outside of the era, I guess you don't want everything about you to be a reference to the specific era, that you don't want to be too of your time. And again, I know this sounds silly because it's like person who is not a successful internet figure or a popular internet figure is trying to give advice about, but this is something that I heard from someone who is more successful than me on the internet. And again, I'm not trying to be successful on the internet. That's something that I can't stress enough. This isn't what I would do if I was trying to quote unquote go viral, is really what I'm saying. So again, I understand guy who is not successful or popular on the internet is trying to talk about what you should and shouldn't do if you're trying to put things on the internet. But I think this is something that people would agree with me that are more successful and popular than me on the internet, which would be that you don't want to be too of your time because you have to make things with the future in mind. If you want to truly make something that is going to be talked about past your generation or several, you know, 50, 100 years in the future, if you want to make something that could still be relevant 50 to 100 years from now, you would have to it would have to not be reliant on references to topical things. It wouldn't have to be it shouldn't be something where all of your references are of the era, all of your jokes are cultural references or topical references. You literally have to make something that stands alone and isn't reliant on like. So, for example, if I was just sitting here all the time, which is what people want me to do, people from IP2, they act like they don't want anything from me, but if anything, what they do the most is they come here and they want me to talk about people that they know. And the thing is, people don't care about the people that they know right now. Let's be honest. People don't actually care about Saint 10. People don't actually care about IBL. People don't actually care about Blackout Andy. People don't actually care about Victoria J. The people who are showing up here and being crazy weirdos care about those people. But people in 2025 right now in mass do not care about the people I just mentioned and at all, even a little bit. So 50 to 100 years from now, people really aren't going to care. What they might care about is the philosophical shit I'm saying about these people and how I'm tying it into how the internet as a whole is very flawed, how social media is very flawed. If I talk about it from a sociological standpoint, from a philosophical standpoint, shit, even from a fucking anthropological standpoint, that is something that could be relevant 50 to 100 years from now. Whereas talking about Brandon Q as an individual is no one's going to care. No one's going to go, Like no one's gonna go ah ha 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 ha. Like people are faking the laughter right now. These are just sick people who relish in other people's pain and suffering that are even pretending to laugh right now in 2025 at anything nefarious and malicious that Blackout Andy does. People don't care about Blackout Andy right now in 2025. No one actually cares about Blackout Andy. 50 to 100 years from now, people really, really, really aren't going to care. There's not even going to be 10 people feigning interest in Blackout Andy 50 to 100 years from now. So, what could be relevant 50 to 100 years from now about me talking about Blackout Andy would be talking about how Blackout Andy and his audience are indicative fundamentally of the flaws of humanity and society right now. That's the only thing, that's the only way you could talk about Blackout Andy in a way that is going to matter to anyone that comes along. Like, even right now, anyone who comes along, even right now, the only way they're going to care about me talking about Blackout Andy is if I'm talking about Blackout Andy in a this is what is wrong with humanity and society as a whole manner. Not in a let's attack Blackout Andy as a person. Let's try to make the audience right now in 2025 watching laugh at Blackout Andy's expense. That's not making something that's going to stand the test of time. Making something that's going to stand the test of time would be saying, how fucking sad is it that Alex, I'm anti-racism. I everything I've ever made has been in the manner of we need to attack these people because I'm anti-racism. But she's okay with going on stream with Ravi. My profile banner is someone doing a Roman is a Pepe doing a Roman salute Andy. How pathetic is it that Alex, I'm anti-racism Myers, to get back at Vegan Patriot, live streamed with a far-right individual? I'm just saying, how sad is that? And no one cares if Blackout Andy actually believes. So here's the thing. If you're dressed up as a political extremist, does it matter if you're actually a political extremist or not? Because you're dressed up as one. You're willing to pretend to be one for that long. So does it really matter if you actually are one or not? The same way that does it actually matter if IBO actually lusts after people that are not 18 or not? Because he says he does. And he's been saying that he does for a while. So does it matter if he's actually into people that are under 18 or not? Because he's said that he is into people that are under 18 for a while now. And he's been collecting money from people with them knowing that he jokes about being into people that aren't of the age of consent. The same way that he claimed he was an anti-racist, but yesterday, because he was around Jeff, he was going on about how he gets shit all the time for being white. So, what does that make Alex Myers if for all those years she was willing to claim she's anti-racist, but she was just streaming with a racist the other day? And not a maybe a racist, like a been banned multiple times for saying the N-word and this, that, and the other. And she was trying to sell it as, oh, she's just being a good Christian. She's just being a good Christian by getting back at Vegan, who she has a tremendous problem with as an individual. Oh, she's just being a good Christian. You know? She's just getting together with everyone and singing Kumbaya by streaming with Blackout Andy, who's, 5-10 years deep into LARPing is far right on YouTube, even though the far right, see, this is another thing. When I say far right, I'm talking about what they meant when they said far right in 2016, which isn't even what there isn't a far right anymore. Okay? So all I can really say is Blackout Andy's been LARPing as if he's sympathetic to the extremist political ideology that is, which I heavily disavow and am not in favor of, by the way. But Blackout Andy pretends politically that he is in favor of World War II Germany ideology and philosophy. And Blackout and Alex Myers has no problem. Alex Myers, I've made a dozen websites posting people's docs, claiming they're bad because of their political ideologies and their beliefs. But when it suits my interest, and I'm just being a good Christian by doing it, aren't you just being a good Christian according to yourself, Alex Myers, by streaming with someone so foul as Blackout Andy? Oh, you're just being a good Christian, aren't you? You're just getting together and singing Kumbaya by doing something that suits your personal interest. But yeah, let's try to sell the kayfabe that you were always just an anti-racist lady and nothing more, Alex Myers. Yeah, let's keep trying to sell that kayfabe. Kayfabe, for people who don't know, is when professional wrestlers tried to sell the belief in the media past the point of absurdity that professional wrestling is not scripted in any way, shape, or form, and that it's actually real life beef between people, real life personalities, things like that. So Alex Myers is trying to sell the kayfabe. When I say that Alex Myers is trying to sell the kayfabe, she's trying to still sell, even though her posts get less engagement than ever. Her views are probably more botted than ever. Because her community posts, they get no engagement. I mean, is that a sign that people just can't read anymore? Is that what that's a sign of? Because it seems like people just can't read anymore. But Alex Myers' community posts get no engagement. They get like a pathetically small amount of engagement. Alex Myers' community posts get little to no engagement. They get about as much as engagement as my community posts do, which is like, I'll be lucky if I get 5 likes. Like, it's a real banger for me if a community post of mine gets 5 likes. That means that I've said something that's really got the people going. If I make a community post and the engagement equals 5. So me and Alex Myers get about the same amount of engagement when we type a post and we post it. So people think that Alex Myers is equally as crazy as me. And she solidified that by talking to Blackout Andy, like Blackout Andy has anything of merit or honesty to say, which is showing what we've all been suspecting all along, which is that Alex Myers doesn't believe a fucking thing she says. Alex Myers has never believed a fucking thing she says. Alex Myers is a batshit crazy psychopath, literal psychopath that knows she is not physically capable of much because she is of the, how do I put this in a non-bigoted way, frailer gender. She's of the frailer gender. So she knows she's not physically capable of much. So she has to do psychopath shit by being a compulsive liar her entire life. And her way of being a compulsive liar her entire life is pretending that she is like the black Josh Moon. She pretended that she's like the darker skin toned Josh Moon of Kiwi Farms, except her idea of being the darker skinned version of Josh Moon is what's it called? Making like 500 GoGoDaddy domain name websites that contain people's doxes and pretending that it's all through the lens of being anti-racist when she kind of put the final nail in the coffin for that argument by streaming with someone that she herself claimed is a prolific and extremist, a prolific racist and a political extremist. So that, oh man. See, it's not good. It's not okay if it's just for the sake of this liar slandering your enemies. That doesn't make it okay. You wouldn't condone that from one of the hundreds of people that you've doxed throughout your attempts to be the dark-skinned Josh Moon. So in your attempts to be the dark-skinned Josh Moon, you've doxed probably several hundred people, and you wouldn't condone one person you've doxed if they were streaming with someone that is a prolific racist just because they have something negative to say about someone. When we know the person in question doesn't tell the truth about anything ever, we know Blackout Andy doesn't tell the truth about anything ever. We know IBL doesn't tell the truth about anything ever. That's another final nail in Alex Myers' claim that she's an anti-racist. The fact that you ever streamed with Nick, IBL, someone who the police are investigating as an actual threat to society, they can't even pinpoint a crime to arrest him with. They just know based on what he says that he is a threat to society, to the point that they're sending people from the government to go talk to him. And it has nothing to do with whether or not it's Vegan Patriot. If they were aware of that in general, they would have done it, because they do that to fucking school children nowadays. Okay? So if they think you're a threat to society just based on your online posting alone, the police will do that nowadays. That's part of their literal services that they offer, is that they will fucking put people through the ringer legally just for saying shit that they think indicates that they're a threat to society. Okay? And the police think that Nick is one of those people, and Alex Myers was talking to Nick, someone that the police thinks is a threat to society based on what he says alone. Okay? And Alex Myers has no problem talking to Nick. I run around. There's video clips of me in old streams harassing women on the streets. There's countless videos of me being a menace to society. When people say something to me, fucking Nick, who claims that he is attracted or that he lusts after people that are not of the age of consent. Nick, who says the N-word a lot. So Alex Myers, who's made how many, she's doxed hundreds of people at this point under the guise of they're racist, and not because she's a literal psychopath, okay? But she's now interviewing racists so long as they also don't like people that she doesn't like. So like, where are we at with the how many past years of you attacking people? So you're allowed to change your beliefs. You're allowed to gravitate towards more extremist crowds just because you want to get back at vegan. But how does that line up with everything you've been espousing and doing for the past how many years now? Are you going to go around apologizing to all the people that you've doxed under the guise of they're racist and not that you personally dislike them? Are you going to go around apologizing for all the shit you've done to all those people for all those years? Now that you're changing your mind and now it's cool for you to hang out with people who are political extremists? I just want to know where you draw the line, and when you're going to go on an apology tour to all the people you've attacked over the years. Alex Myers, when are you going to start saying I'm sorry? I just want to know when you're going to start apologizing for all the people you've attacked over the years, Alex Myers. If you're going to start interviewing racists now, if you're going to start associating with political extremists, when are you going to start apologizing to all the people you've attacked over the years under the guise of they're racist and they need to be attacked because they're racist and not because you have a problem with them personally, like I was saying the entire time? And you just can't say that you have a problem with these people personally because people would have noticed you were crazy right away, which they did anyway. So when's the apology tour going to start, Alex Myers? Because you owe us an apology tour. We are owed an Alex Myers apology tour since you want to stream with Blackout Andy. And you owe us an apology for attacking people just because you dislike them and lying to us and telling us it was because they're really bad racist and they need to be stopped because they're really bad racist. And you need to apologize for going to the police and telling them that these people need to be stopped because they're really bad racists, when you're going to stream with Blackout Andy just if he has something negative to say about vegan because you really don't like vegan at the moment, which I really don't like vegan at the moment either. But I'm not going to start licking Blackout Andy's taint just because I really don't like vegan at the moment. You want to know why? Because I have self respect, Alex Myers, because I have self respect. And I wouldn't take a handout from Blackout Lion Ass Andy no matter what he had to say about someone I dislike. It would not matter what Blackout Lying Ass Andy had to say about anyone I dislike. I'm not going to be friends with Blackout Andy. I'm not going to be friends with Blackout Andy just because he has something negative to say about someone I dislike. Okay? I tried to mend fences with Blackout Andy because Blackout Andy literally, his brain does not function properly. And all he was going to do was just endlessly go in a loop where he would just deny what I'm saying to him. When he would lie, like Blackout Andy just goes in these loops where he tries to lie. And then you'll get him to tell the truth. And then the next day he'll just tell the same lie. And then you'll get him to tell the truth. And then the next day he'll just tell the same lie. So I tried to mend fences with Blackout Andy because I got tired of getting him to tell the truth just to repeat the same lie the next day. It was fucking redundant at that point. I had already gotten him to admit in front of his dumbass fans like 57 times that he's lying. I got him to admit over and over and over and over and over that he's fucking lying. And then he'd just go tell the same lies. He did that shit in his community post the other day where he's repeating lies that I've already gotten him to admit are lies. Okay? He's just repeating lies that I've gotten him to admit are lies. So over and over and over and over and over and over and over, Blackout Andy will admit that he's fucking lying, and then he'll fucking go and retell the same lie. So I pretended to mend fences with Blackout Andy just to get him to shut the fuck up because I was tired of getting him to admit that he's a fucking liar over and over and over. You, on the other hand, Alex Myers, have for years been trying to get people put in prison, trying to get them kicked out of their houses, trying to get them fired, like doing really, really fucked up shit for people in comparison to your initial claims about why they needed to be dealt with by society, which was they said something to you. They like that's it. It's always the attacks are always this person said something to me. Okay? Now, the threats, sure. Responding to the threats, that's one thing. Making police reports because, you think someone actually intends to do a threat or whatever. I usually wait until they actually do something, but I am capable of defending myself. I know Alex Myers is not capable of defending herself without a weapon. I get it. Neither is Vegan Patriot. Okay? Neither is Victoria J. Neither is Blackout Andy. None of these people are capable of defending themselves without a weapon. Saint Ten's not capable of defending himself without a weapon. Nick's not capable of defending himself without a weapon. Chicken Andy's not capable of defending himself without a weapon. All of their friends aren't capable of defending themselves without a weapon. I get it. I get it. Alex Myers is not capable of defending herself without a weapon. But I usually wait until people actually do something. If I'm going to be making a police report, people usually have to at least actually step outside and do something that I can actually make a police report about. But I'm not meant for the social media era, so to speak. I'm built for the honor dueling days. I'm built for the honor dueling days where if number one, you'd have to be a landowner to be able to speak. You'd have to actually own something to be able to speak. And then you could just meet in the field with one of those old school dueling pistols and just and someone that was talking shit, and then they just drag them away. I'm meant for the honor dueling days, okay? I'm meant for the aristocratic honor dueling days where you had to actually you had to pay your dues to speak, and people would listen to you because you paid your dues, and shit like that. And then if someone disrespected you, or if they were running around lying about you, and you got their dumbass to admit to meet you in a field, you could just fuck them up, and then they just drag them off after you shut them the fuck up. I'm meant for those days, okay? I'm not meant for the social media era where you have to fucking lead a private intelligence agency tier investigation against someone to get them to shut the fuck up if they're lying about you. Okay, I'm meant for the days where you could grab a solid wooden object and they'll like dig a hole, they'll like dig your ankles into a hole, and they'll have you stand like just far enough apart to smack each other with the solid objects until one of you gives up. And I'm used to that's what made people honest in the first place ever. Okay, that is what made people afraid of lying to begin with, is people actually settling their disputes and forcing each other to be honest, which is why I value honesty more than anything, and why I don't engage with people. If you go through my panel appearances, you'll notice if I can tell any hint of dishonesty about a person, I either lead them on a verbal goose chase, or I immediately stop engaging with them. You will notice if you go through, number one, I don't know how any of you have every panel appearance I've ever made. If you have a recording of every panel appearance I've ever made, I don't know how, but if you have that, aggregate them and literally pay attention to the way I'm behaving. And if you pay attention to the way I'm behaving, you will notice that if I notice that I think someone is dishonest, the second that I think that I notice they're dishonest, I will either say some shit that just I will start giving them verbal red herrings, or I will just literally begin verbally attacking them if I think they're dishonest. Because I value honesty more than anything, and because I'm literally not meant for this social media era. Okay, that is how much I dislike people. Give me a second. But yeah, that's how I behave. So I value honesty a lot more than someone like Alex Myers, Eric. I mean, again, this isn't to say that I'm perfect. I've never been trying to push the assertion that I'm without flaw or anything like that, or that, I'm not subject to not following my own beliefs or something like that. I've never tried to make the assertion that I'm not subject to making the same mistakes that I criticize other people for. People like to make that assertion that if you're saying something that people like to make the assertion that what you're saying is not valid, so to speak, if you make the mistake that you are talking about. People like to act like, it just goes back to all the cancellations over the years that have happened. Go back over recent history, which would be pre-2025, say starting around 2014, 2015 maybe, to the current year, 2025. Look at all the cancellations that have happened, quote unquote. I like to call them digital witch hunts. They are the equivalent of digital Salem witch trials. I've been telling people on Discord dating back to around 2018 that this will be remembered in history, which I got good grades in. I got very good grades in history. This will be remembered in history as the age of digital witch trials that are Salem witch trial tier. Okay? We are being subjected to digital witch hunts, digital pitchfork mobs, digital behavior that is going to be looked at the same as the way that people now claim. So, you know how people now claim the biggest period of injustice in history, in recent history, has been dark-skinned people getting beat by the police, the stop and frisk, the civil rights era beatings that the police subjected U.S. citizens to. People remember that as the biggest injustice in recent history. What's actually going to be remembered as the biggest injustice in recent history is the way that people like me have been treated by the internet. I have been treated like a second-class citizen my entire life, and then my adult life, I have to be paid not the standard of living, and I have to be treated unfairly by people like Blackout Andy, who does not even work a job. I have to be treated unfairly, and I have to be subject to digital Salem witch hunt trial witch hunts that people like Blackout Andy, who do not work, contribute to. So, Alexander Myers, I just want to know when your apology tour is going to begin. I would like an apology for you streaming with Blackout Andy and Nick. We would all like an apology for you streaming with Blackout Andy and Nick after you have led hundreds of witch hunts against people over the years under the guise that they need to be stopped because they're racist. Wannabe Wendy Williams Myers. Alex Wannabe Wendy Williams Myers. Alex Wannabe Robin from Howard Stern. I just want to know when your apology tour is going to begin for all of the witch hunts you've tried to lead against hundreds of people. Wannabe dark-skinned Josh Moon. I just want to know. We just want to know when. When is the Alex Myers apology tour going to begin? For all the years of saying that if you associate with a racist, you are one. Does that mean you're a racist, Alex Myers? Because I've been saying that for a while too. Does that mean you're a racist, Alex Myers? Are you a racist, Alex Myers? I just want to know. So it's okay for you to talk to Blackout Andy if Blackout Andy has something negative to say about someone you dislike. It's okay. Is it really okay, though? Is what I want to know, Alex Myers. Is it really okay, actually? Is it actually really okay that you talk to Blackout Andy after all the years you've spent claiming you're a champion for the cause of anti-racism? Alex Myers, so-called champion of anti-racism. I just want to know if it's actually okay that you streamed with Blackout Andy, because I don't think it's actually okay. I'm going to level with you here. Alex Myers. I don't think it's actually okay that after all these years of claiming you're anti-racist, that you streamed with Blackout Andy. I don't think that's actually okay. I think you owe me an apology. for someone that you would assume for as a person that is someone that Alexander Myers you would assume is white, you would swear up and down that I'm white, Alexander Myers. So I just want to know someone that you would swear up and down is white and not Mongolian and Cherokee, and Polish and Welsh. I just want to know, Alex Myers, as someone that you would presume is white, when my apology is going to be delivered to me that you owe me for streaming with Blackout Andy after leading hundreds of witch hunts against people under the guise that they're racist and not that you personally have a problem with them. I just want to know when my apology for you streaming with racist Blackout Andy is going to be delivered after years of you leading witch hunts against hundreds of people under the guise that they're racist and not that you have a personal problem with them. I would like to know when my apology would be delivered to me as someone you would presume is white and not Mongolian and Cherokee. I just want to know when I will receive my apology.